All right, the investigation in the cases related to the deadly cough syrup is only widening. From Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan to Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, the state governments are now cracking down on fake cough syrups. A nationwide pharma crackdown is now underway, with states racing to trace every toxic bottle before more lives are lost. 19 children have died, 17 in Chhindwara, 3 in Betul, all suspected to have consumed the deadly cough syrup. The death toll in that sense has now increased. Even as the cause of death is under investigation, the Madhya Pradesh government has launched a massive crackdown. There are raids across Indore. Teams from the Drug Control Department, District Administration have raided multiple medical stores. 50 drug samples seized, many bottles without bills or batch numbers. Indore collector has ordered strict action. FIRs will be registered against errant shopkeepers. In Gujarat, the FDA has sounded an alert after finding 2 more cough syrups laced with toxic chemical DEG. This was made by Rednecks and Pharma. Both products have been declared unsafe and banned immediately.
सिंपल्स एक्चुअल में क्या है कि ड्रग विभाग से आदेश है, स्वास्थ्य मंत्री के आदेश हैं, ड्रग कंट्रोलर को इस मामले में सस्पेंड किया गया है, कुछ ड्रग इंस्पेक्टर्स को भी सस्पेंड किया गया है। चूँकि ये कार्रवाई हमेशा होती रहती है, ऐसा नहीं कि कोई नई कार्रवाई है। हर महीने हर ड्रग इंस्पेक्टर को 5-7 सैंपल कलेक्ट करना आवश्यक ही है, वो उनके नॉर्म्स में ही है। चूँकि अब ये कोल्ड्रिफ सायरप का मामला हुआ है, कोल्ड्रिफ सायरप तो अब यहाँ पे उपलब्ध नहीं है जो बैन हुआ है, उसकी के जो फार्मूले के जो सायरप थे उन सब के सैंपल लिए जा रहे हैं और दूसरे भी सैंपल लिए जा रहे हैं जो कि टेस्ट होने भोपाल जाएंगे।
से माननीय कंट्रोलर सर के निर्देश जो प्राप्त हुई है, माननीय कलेक्टर सर की जो प्राप्त हुई है, उस हिसाब से हम लोग कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं, सैंपल ले रहे हैं और जो भी जिसकी कंप्लेंट आ रही है जिस प्रोडक्ट की वो सर्च कर रहे हैं मार्केट में सभी लोग।
More skeletons tumble out of Sresan Pharma, the manufacturer of banned Coldrif cough syrup. India Today's exclusive ground investigation inside the Sresan Pharma plant in Kanchipuram has revealed not one but several lapses. The plant reveals alarming lapses that may have contributed to the deadly Coldrif cough syrup tragedy. The facility found in shocking disrepair, with no proper ventilation, inadequate waste disposal, chemical solvents carelessly stored under the blazing sun in spite of safety warnings. Basic hygiene standards were ignored, with dust and debris scattered throughout the production area. To make matters worse, the factory is located right next to a busy highway, constantly exposed to dust and pollution. We're getting you more on this unfolding investigation.
We're reporting from the backside of the killer plant to just give you a glimpse of where the waste gets dumped. This is one of the containers where it's clearly written here, the waste tablets container. It's just openly dumped here. In fact, there are also fillers over here, the drip which is used to drip the cough syrup. It's just openly placed over here. Of course, these are all waste, but just imagine the amount of chemical emanation from this particular spot. In fact, there are also a bunch of construction workers nearby who are working here. जी आप इधर कितना दिन से है, आपको क्या पता है इसके बारे में, वेस्ट को किधर डंप किया जाता है?
देखो इधर क्या होता है वो तो हमको मालूम नहीं है, वो दूसरा काम है, मेरा दूसरा काम है, हम लोग करते क्या पेपर ऊपर है तो थोड़ा भेस भी आता है तो इधर जला देता है, यही बात है।
ऐसे ही ओपन में जला देते हैं?
ना ओपन में जलाता है।
The waste that gets generated in the plant just gets dumped openly over here. That's just very telling of the kind of lack of responsibility and lack in inventory management on part of the Sresan Pharmaceuticals, the killer plant here that manufactures the killer cough, the Coldrif cough that is directly linked to the deaths of children in India. 14 in Rajasthan and 2 in Madhya Pradesh is what we are talking about, and thereby this particular cough syrup, it has now been banned in Tamil Nadu following the deaths of innocent children. With camera person Daniel, Anaga Keshav reporting for India Today from Kanchipuram. Kanchipuram-based Sresan Pharmaceuticals that manufactures the killer Coldrif syrup that's consumed by children is under severe scrutiny after the deaths of 16 children in India, 14 in Madhya Pradesh and 2 in Rajasthan after the consumption of this killer cough syrup. And we are reporting from this killer plant over here, this exact plant where the Coldrif syrup is being manufactured. In fact, Tamil Nadu's drug inspection unit also found found over 350 violations, from the absence of air handling units and ventilation to rusted equipment and products stored in dusty corridors. I just want to show you the design and the layout of this particular plant. Just take a look at how unhygienic this whole area is. It's completely ill-maintained, not given attention to at all. Just the kind of unhygienic atmosphere that we are reporting from. In fact, as I report, I can actually feel and smell the stench that's emanating out of this place. In fact, one of the key observations of the report was how the manufactured cough syrups were placed openly in the corridors of this place, which is very close to the highway. In fact, if you see that side, it's nothing but a highway with thousands of vehicles, and thereby over a period of time the dust accumulated has contributed to contamination of the cough syrup, is what we are hearing. That's the kind of glaring lapse that we are talking about. I just want to show you another lapse. There is a container over here to store chemicals where it's very clearly written that this container should be placed in a clean, cold place away from direct sunlight, and yet this container is placed directly under the sun. That's the kind of apathy and indifference in the manufacture of Coldrif syrup that we are talking about. What we're also learning is that the equipment that was used in the production of this syrup was just rusty, not updated, not cleaned at all. Very, very unhygienic is what we're hearing. Another important portion that was highlighted in the report was the use of diethylene glycol, which is the toxic, lethal industrial solvent that's used in brake fluids, that was found in the syrup, pointing out to illegal procurement and gross negligence. In fact, this particular industrial solvent, diethylene glycol, is really not meant for human consumption, and yet this particular solvent was illegally procured by this particular company, mixed in with the syrup, which has resulted in the fatalities of innocent children. In fact, there's also a show cause notice that's been stuck here by Tamil Nadu's Drug Controller Department, where they've clearly asked for invoices and the copy of this particular diethylene glycol drug, because it's really not okay to mix that up with Coldrif syrup. And that's why they have sought accountability, giving a time of 5 days from the date of receipt of this show cause notice to the company over here. It has to be all the details that's been sought over here, right from the invoices to the purchase certificate to analysis certificate of raw materials used in the manufacturing of this drug, has to be submitted to Tamil Nadu's Drug Controller Unit within the next 5 days. Really, the Tamil Nadu government seeking answers from Sresan Pharmaceuticals for the way in which they've maintained this particular plant, the way in which they've procured illegal industrial solvent, mixed it up inside Coldrif, that has resulted in the death of 16 innocent children. With camera person Daniel, Anaga Keshav reporting for India Today from Kanchipuram.
The Tamil Nadu Drugs Control Department has issued a show cause notice to Sresan Pharmaceuticals, the maker of the controversial Coldrif cough syrup, directing the company to furnish key details within 5 days. Well, the drug regulator has sought details of raw materials, master formula, production data within the set timeline. India Today travelled to the manufacturing unit of Sresan Pharmaceuticals in Kanchipuram and found the plant lacking basic facilities, qualified staff, proper procedures to ensure product safety.
Have you inspected the plant over here? What are the labs?
Here to serve the show cause notice. That is my duty allotted to me. I am in the team. If you want any other details about the investigation, you have to contact my director. Okay?
What does the notice say, ma'am?
Show cause notice.
What does the notice say? What is the content of the show?
Everything detailed in the notice itself, it is stick on there.
Okay. Have you had a chance to inspect the plant? Have you found any lapses
that
in
is
terms of hygiene?
Provided to me.
To Anaga for more details on that story, tracking that from Chennai. Anaga, I can't wrap my head around what you've sent us. This is so shocking and so bizarre, and the worst part of it, that there is no accountability that is getting fixed here. What are the state drug controller authorities getting, doing about this situation that you have found yourself in your report? All that you had to do was go there, switch the camera and, just expose these people. Why aren't the drug controller authorities in the state doing their job?
Well, in fact, the owner of Sresan Pharmaceuticals,
Yes.
Mr. Ranganathan Govindarajan, has been absconding at the moment. An FIR has been filed in Madhya Pradesh. An SIT has been formed, and yet the owner of Sresan Pharmaceuticals seems to be nowhere. He's absconding is what we are hearing. In fact, there is this particular industrial solvent, diethylene glycol, which is lethal if consumed by human beings. This particular drug was mixed in with the Coldrif syrup. In fact, it had to be propylene glycol, which was the right solvent to use, but instead it was this toxic chemical called diethylene glycol which was mixed in. Why was it procured in the first place? That we still don't have answers for. Was it financially beneficial for the company's owner to have procured this particular drug, this particular industrial solvent? That's a big question. Investigation is still underway to really find out why there were such glaring lapses. Who in fact issued drug licenses to Sresan Pharmaceuticals in the first place? Were there officials who were hand in glove with Sresan Pharmaceuticals in procurement of drug license? So many questions that are to be answered for, which will find answers only after the investigation is complete. But for the moment, it's absolutely shocking that so many children have lost their lives after the consumption of this particular cough syrup. Even when we went to this particular place, we were shocked to see the way in which it was maintained. As soon as we entered the killer plant, we could smell the foul stench that was coming out of that plant. Absolutely ill maintained. It's very hard to believe that medicines were in fact manufactured inside that plant. That's the kind of apathy that we are talking about. Very shocking as to how officers and officials had just meted out a blind eye to this particular pharmaceutical company for so many years, and now there are deaths. People have woken up in order to cancel the drug license of this particular pharmaceutical company.
Well, absolutely. You know, it's a basic thing that no formula, no solvent should be kept under the sun. I mean, this is a basic thing that we do at home, isn't it? Not keeping any medicine where there is heat or where there is sun. That's what they've done. This is a medicine manufacturing plant. Look at the condition. Pictures on your screen at this point in time. Anaka, with that excellent investigation, I'm going to thank you for the moment for getting in those details. In a disturbing turn, Rajasthan's Drug Control Department has uncovered that many medicines meant to treat patients are instead endangering their health. An investigation by India Today reveals a troubling pattern. Drug samples are tested, reports are filed, little to no action follows. Here's more.
Contaminated cough syrup killing children has made headlines. But the truth runs deeper. Every year, millions may be falling victim to counterfeit and substandard drugs. Rajasthan's Drug Control Department has unearthed a trail of shocking findings. Medicines that are meant to heal are in fact harming patients. When India Today examined the department's working, it found labs conducting tests, report being filed, but no action taken. The list is long and disturbing. Antibiotics. 6 batches failed. Over 1 lakh tablets from MediRich Limited was sold before detection. Steroids saw 3 batches failing. Medivil Biotech sold 30,000 doses. Anti-allergics saw 4 batches failing. Theravin formulation sold 35,000 units. Anti-diabetics saw 3 batches failing. Relief Biotech sold 18,000 tablets. 3 batches of painkillers failed. Ipca Laboratories sold 20,000 of them. 8 batches of supplements failed. FE Parenteral sold 40,000 units. Antacids saw 3 batches failing, of which 15,000 units were sold by Pharma. And 2 batches of cardiac drugs failed, out of which MX Pharma sold 10,000 tablets. So from stomachache pills to ear drops, from injectables to vitamin syrups, some had missing salts, others were infected fluids.
6 सैंपल आया है, 6 सैंपल का नेगेटिव, 1 सैंपल है, 6 सैंपल आए थे, सबका हुआ है, एंड वी आर स्टिल टेकिंग. इसका ही नहीं, बाकी भी सारे लिक्विड फॉर्मुलेशंस का फील्ड में हम सैंपल ले ही रहे हैं. इट इज एन ऑनगोइंग प्रोसेस. और जब भी अगर हमें ऐसा कोई मिलेगा, विल इन्फॉर्म यू इफ यू फाइंड एनीथिंग अबनॉर्मल. ये कंपनी आगे सप्लाई करेगी अब या कब से करेगी? ये आरएमएसएल का लुकआउट है, पर जो हमें बताया गया है कि आरएमएसएल इज पुट ऑन होल्ड 19 फॉर्मुलेशंस जो एक कंपनी बनाता है. उसके आगे क्या करना है वो दे विल टेक अ कॉल.
By law, every failed sample must lead to a court case. By rule, every report must be escalated to the Central Drug Laboratory in Kolkata for a nationwide ban. But none of that happened. Instead, reports gathered dust until the state's drug controller himself was suspended.
ये राष्ट्रीय स्तर के ऊपर हम हमारी ये जो सूचना है वो DCDI को भी भिजवाते हैं। वहाँ से हमारे जो ग्रुप्स बनाए रेगुलेटरी का उसके मार्फत से इमीडिएटली कोई भी दवाई अगर स्पूरियस डिक्लेयर हुई है या एडल्ट्रेशन उसके अंदर पाया गया है तो हमारे ग्रुप में सर्कुलेट हो जाता है और उस बेसिस के ऊपर सभी जगह पे कार्रवाई एक साथ हो जाती है इसके।
There's hardly any disease left for which fake or substandard medicines have not been caught. Yet the government response remains slow and fragmented. By the time a ban is imposed, lakhs have already swallowed the risk. So while we worry about contaminated cough syrups, the truth is the problem is much bigger. From antibiotics to painkillers, fake medicines are finding their way to your cabinet. And until India fixes its drug control system, every pill could be a potential gamble with life. With Sharat Kumar in Jaipur, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, the cough syrup deaths row is widening. Now reaching Rajasthan, a central drug team has raided Sresan Pharma factory in Jaipur, inspecting samples amid suspicion of spurious and fake cough syrups. But in Rajasthan, the government has denied any link between cough syrup and the deaths of 4 children, saying the children were already suffering from other illnesses and that the syrup administered at home was not the cause of death.
The Central Drugs Control Team had arrived at the premises of Sresan Pharma in Jaipur Sarna Dungar and had tried to find out whether the claims made about the cough syrup made by Sresan Pharma were true or not. However, the team has not disclosed as to what was found in its investigation. Earlier, the Rajasthan government's health department had maintained that the claims made about the deaths of several children because of cough syrup were not true, mentioning that in their bodies dextromorphone was not found, and it had raised several questions given the fact that the family members of children had claimed that they had died after consuming the cough syrup manufactured by Sresan Pharma. So whether the claims made about the cough syrup being spurious are found to be true or not is something which time can tell, as the Central Drugs team is yet to make public in its investigations or its findings at the Sresan Pharma factory in Jaipur. With camera person Manoj Devankur Vadhavan in Jaipur for India Today.